Okay, I gotta give a special shout out to Feed Me Righteously underscore 33. She left a comment on one of my videos, the one I posted about what was it, the mid-season finale sneak peek or mid-season sneak peek about Zatima season 3. Basically, what I showed was the recap of the previous episode from the beginning of the leaked episode, which I do believe is episode 11. So essentially, the clip shown in the video is a recap of the season 3 mid-season finale, aka episode 10, dropping on Halloween, which is next Thursday. And in it, we see that Fatima is shocked that Zach gets arrested. I believe what looks to be early in the morning, I think, or late at night. I forgot. Seriously, I mean, I've done like 20, 30 videos in the past 36 hours. Forgive me for forgetting. But regardless, the police came, scooped up Zach for the murder of Jeremiah and Fatima stunned. Then, the recap ends with, Zach being detained and Fatima going to see him, basically saying, look, I've been through so much BS and you expect me to sit with you through this? And then she basically leaves, indicating that, she's done with Zach. And if you watched episode 11, then you know that she just, is at the point where, hey, I made some calls. I've talked to people at work. I've done all I can do. Zach is going to have to find his own way out of jail. Now, it's interesting because, like I said in a post and, in other videos, I don't hate Fatima. This season started off with me getting both sides of the story. On the one hand, I understand completely why Fatima did not tell Zach about what went down because of the fact that she knows how he's going to react. But on the other side, it's like, look, there are some things that Zach should know because on the other hand of Fatima's rationale about why she doesn't want to tell Zach, for one, she should have at the very least gone to the hospital as Angela suggested, because just because those paramedics on site, made sure that her and the baby are okay, it just never hurts to get a second opinion, especially for someone in their first trimester. And on top of that, I remember saying in a previous video that, look, I don't know if it's a good idea to either not tell Zach or not call the cops about Jeremiah, due to the fact that him being a crackhead, who's to say he won't pop up at Fatima's job again? Who's to say he won't pop up at Zach and Fatima's house and, have a gun or something just because, that's his brother? When an addict, is looking for a fix and knows where to find some money, there's going to be an issue. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Yet again, I see Fatima's rationale, but that's only for like the short term. Yeah, you could argue, well, Jeremy, her not telling Zach so he doesn't blow up and then do something that leads to him going to jail is more of a long-term thing. But like I said before, it's like putting a band-aid on a broken arm. It might look like it's going to fix something, but in reality, nah, it's going to make things worse in the long run. But I definitely like the comment that was left on the video, because she basically said Fatima should have let Jeremiah get arrested after he attacked her, pressed charges, and then told Zach the truth from the beginning. Because if memory serves, in episode 2, Angela said, I'm calling the police. And then Jeremiah, bolted. And then after Fatima was, checked out by the 911 and whatnot, the paramedics, and said she was okay, Angela's like, well, look, we got to call the cops. And she's like, no cops. And this goes back to why season 3 is perplexing to me. Because currently, and I said last week or the week before last, I need to wait until the full thing plays out to make a complete opinion on season 3 as a whole. But when I compare to like season 2, which had a slow first half, but it really paid off in the second half, I don't think the setup was as bad as the setup for season 3. Because with season 3, a lot of these issues could have been resolved because these characters are acting out of character. They're doing stupid things. And like I said, before, the fact that Nathan of all people is the voice of reason, that should tell you you're kind of messed up in terms of your thought process. If Fatima had, allowed Angela to call the police and press charges and Jeremiah got arrested, then Zach could have found out but Jeremiah would have been quote unquote protected, not by Fatima, not by his, Zach's friends and whatnot, but by the freaking police. Because even if Zach wants to blow up and attack Jeremiah, guess what? He's behind bars. So there's less of a chance of Zach doing something stupid, you know? So then he would have time to like process everything that happened. But most importantly, make sure Fatima and the baby is okay. Then, maybe Connie can, explain what happened with the life insurance, because at the end of the day, I still say she's the one that got this crap started by pushing it, not just pushing it on Fatima / Zach, but then saying that, oh, well, you're going to have to talk to Fatima about that money. I ain't got it. I still blame her. Yes. And even though it looks like she made, based off episode 11, based on her suspicions about and doubts about Jeremiah actually being dead, it seems she might play a key role in showing that, oh, Jeremiah is actually alive. And then Zach is out of jail. That does not exonerate her, in my mind, for getting this crap started, in the first place. But yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Had Fatima had called the cops and Jeremiah got found and arrested, because Zach wouldn't have known anything. Because keep in mind, he was still at the at Rise Ventures with Preston and Bryce freaking out over the money thing. So, with the cops being the cops, because if I remember correctly in episode 1, didn't Tony, Nathan, and Connie witness somebody in the hood getting arrested? So if you look at the time between Fatima getting attacked, Angela finding her, this is after work, by the way, so this is in the afternoon, early evening. Jeremiah showed up at the hood, when Nathan and Belinda and Connie and Tony were out there playing cards. So that was nighttime. And then they all overheard Jeremiah saying, she fell. And then they tried to rush over to Zach and Fatima's. Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that Jeremiah would have been found and detained by the police before Zach, even made it home from Rise Ventures. That's probably how things would have played out. Well, yet again, this is what makes me kind of agitated by season 3, that all of this drama and, all this heartache and crap could have been avoided had characters made the basic, decisions that make the most sense. Like, that's why I say, like, I ride for Angela this season, because she's definitely made a lot of solid points. Because even though, I blame Connie for starting this, Angela was the one saying, like, no, we got to call the cops, Fatima. No, we need to take you to the hospital, Fatima. And Fatima's like, no. Zach can't find out. And it's like the person who's making the most sense. It's like the bestie of the main characters making the most sense. Angela for Fatima, Nathan for Zach. Yet they're being ignored, all in favor of stretching out the story longer than it needs to be. So with that being said, the longer this goes on, the worse Fatima looks, because yet again, this could have been solved easily. And, from her lying to Zach's face, and look, Zach is, like Preston said, Zach is a grown man and he made his own decisions, and he wound up locked up. And Fatima's like done. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not, Lord, it's like I said about Connie. I don't blame Connie for Jeremiah attacking Fatima, because Jeremiah did what he did. But at the same time, Connie was the one that pointed Jeremiah in that direction, knowing how Jeremiah gets when he's high. So you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like, the biblical reference of Pontius Pilate didn't necessarily crucify Jesus Christ himself, but he gave the people the choice of the murderer Barabbas or Christ. And guess what? They chose to free the murderer. And it's like the person with the power in that moment, like Pilate could have let, Jesus go free, but he opted to look at the decision that would benefit him the most. Like, you know what? Let me just do something where it's in the people's hands to make the choice, not me. Same thing with Connie. Gladys put the burden of the life insurance thing on me to take care of after she passed, but I don't want this responsibility. Let me hand it off to someone else. You know, Fatima and Zach can handle it. And I know that Jeremiah's going to try to come down on me and my kids if I don't hand over the money. But what I can do to save my own skin, let me point them in the direction of Fatima and Zach. And guess what? We saw what happened. So, like I said before, no shade to the actress, but Connie as a character is trash, and I will never forgive her for what she did. Now, when it comes to Fatima and this whole thing, yeah, this comment definitely opened my eyes into how bad season 3 opened with the fact that Angela said I want to be honest here. I want to be honest. Well, then again, I was about to say I want to be honest. Angela should just call the cops anyway. But then again, if the cops came and talked to Fatima at the house, Zach probably would have blown up, and then Fatima wouldn't have said anything because it's like, you know, in other shows where this happened, if the person who is the quote unquote victim doesn't point the finger at someone and press charges, nothing can be done. But either way, I still think that Angela should have stayed on top of the Fatima Jeremiah situation. And I'm not. Hey, let me put it. Excuse me. I'm not blaming Angela for anything because she said what needed to be said, and Fatima chose to ignore it. So, how do you feel about season 3 in terms of all this drama and whatnot? It could have been avoided, but one call to 911. And, you know, Jeremiah could have been locked up and then behind bars. He could have sobered up, realized what he did, and then he, you know, hopefully would have chosen a better path, whether it be like agreeing to receive the help Zach offered him at the end of season 2 after their mom died to get him into rehab to, you know, kick his addiction and whatnot. Because look, bro, our mom died from this crap. You need to get off it before you suffer the same fate. So it's going to take me a while to forgive you. I still love you, but, you know, we need to get you off this stuff. Because the last thing we want is to have you behind bars forever. But at the same time, I can't have you coming after my woman and our unborn child. And then, like, Jeremiah could have, like, snapped out of it after realizing that he didn't just hurt his future sister-in-law, but also his future niece or nephew. And then that could have been the wake-up call to get him sober. That would have been a much better way to do it. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I apologize if I seemed like I was rambling, but I think I've been getting better in my long form content where the rambling isn't necessarily nonsense. It relates to the topic at hand. Plus, you know, the comments haven't really complained about it because you see my points on things. So with that being said, please like and subscribe the channel. We're doing good. Views are up. I like to see it. Ad revenue is up. I got bills. So yeah, please continue to support the channel. And just thank you for the positive comments. I post a lot, but you know, when things kind of slow down, I take my time and read through comments. Some videos get far more comments than others, but I just love seeing the number of people who have said, you know what, I quit Sistas and Zatima. I'm not really rocking with it so far, but I love your commentary. I come here for it. And sometimes I might not watch an entire season, but I watch certain episodes if you give it, like, you know, high review scores and whatnot. So I have to say yet again, thank you for the support. It really means a lot. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.